Hi guys, it's me again. Today I thought I would give you a bit of a life catch up and talk about some issues that are going on right now with many people with disabilities. So, we're all still in lockdown, mostly anyway. Some of the restrictions have been lifted and life's not normal just yet, but maybe in a couple of months' time everything will be back to normal. I finished my EPQ on Disability and Society for college back in May and have been not doing much since. I started a blog. I don't know if anyone is aware. I will link my website in the description below, and I think that's pretty much it. I've gone to the hospital a couple of times to have my intrathecal baclofen pump topped up, and it's been pretty surreal because you feel like you shouldn't be there. Makes it worse is I have to travel all the way to Sheffield because they can't fit me in locally at the minute. So, the first time I went, the roads were, dead, which is really weird, especially on a motorway. Had to go in an ambulance because no one could go with me, which was also weird, but I enjoy it now because it means I'm finally getting treated more like an adult. I don't know if I have else much to catch you up on at the minute, but a serious topic that I wanted to talk about was the way the government has treated people with disabilities throughout this pandemic, and it really, really has started to get on my nerves because I will be at home and I will watch the coronavirus daily updates on BBC or whatever news channel it's on, and there's been 2 times where disability has been asked, the questions about disability have been asked and brought to the forefront of everyone's attention, and those questions were never answered correctly. You could probably say that about all the questions that are asked, but for this first, the specific group, people that are disabled, I would say it's more imperative that we know what's going on because, especially for me, I'm living at my grandparents at the moment, which is fine, but I'm supposed to be going back to college in September, and I need to know when I can go home and when I can see my carers again, and if that's even safe too, and seeing my dad on a weekend, I don't see him as much as I want to, and I miss my friends and stuff like that. But it's also the fact of I've been shielding, but I haven't had a shielding letter. And yes, some people could argue that I'm not at risk because I just have cerebral palsy, and that doesn't always affect me the way it affects everyone else. But at the same time, because we don't know how it'll affect people like me, isn't that also a sign to be shielding? Because the way my nan sees it is because of my scoliosis surgery, they would have a really difficult time if I did get COVID-19 because they wouldn't be able to have me on my side constantly, or it would just be a really bad situation for me to be in. But I come under the vulnerable list, but haven't had a letter through at all to say that I should shield. And I know of other people that have had to write to their GP to get a letter, which shouldn't be the case. It's like having the discussions with people that, hang on a minute, disability is important and it is worth talking about and not being forgotten, and it's all up in the air because I haven't had as much help from social services, whether that be because I'm in adult social services now or because social services have had to divert their attention to people that are supposedly needing it more at this moment in time, which is fine, but when you need that support yourself, it's a bit of an issue when the government isn't talking about disability and talking about what they're going to do, because a point was raised on the news that the social distancing measures in place at the minute aren't the easiest for many people with disabilities, because they need to have daily contact with people for various different reasons, or they don't have the full mental capacity to understand, to stay 2 meters away. And especially, like, one of my big concerns is me going back to college, because if the 2 meter distance is still in place, that's not going to be very good for me, because I won't be able to have the support that I need. Because how can you talk to someone that needs to sit next to you to help you make notes when they are, like, across the room? It doesn't work. And I think a lot of stuff like that has kind of gone under the radar, and I don't think that should be the case. I think at this day and age we should be talking about stuff like this and figuring out ways of around them and how to make it easier for everyone, but not just the people that are normal, if that's even the correct term to use. But, like, as I mentioned, the news updates and stuff, like, somebody asked a question about disability and it got turned into an answer that wasn't even an answer, but it got turned into an answer about everyone. And this person wasn't asking about everyone. They were asking about a specific group to make sure that their needs would be met. And that's the thing that annoys me, because even though disability is a minority, it's still important. But because there's only a small fraction, it gets ignored and forgotten and not treated with the same care and consideration as everything else is at the minute. I mean, I say that from the perspective of someone with a disability. Like, maybe someone else who is also disabled has a different experience, but I'm just sharing my experiences, because I think the more people that know and the more people that take notice can then raise awareness and get the ball rolling to make sure that we're not forgotten if it happens again. And I think now that I'm 18, I notice all this stuff more, and it's beginning to annoy me and not feel right and not feel good, and just a pain and kind of sadness that even in the 21st century, people are still, in a way, being treated the same way they were years ago, which isn't right at all. But unless people speak up and society realises that stuff needs to change, nothing will ever change. So it's a catch-22, because government are in control of society at the minute, but because society aren't making more of an issue of it, government just doesn't care. So yeah, that was my rant. And not rant, but, like, it needs to be talked about. And I hope other people see this video and go, oh, that's something I need to learn about. Oh, that's something that would be a good thing to discuss. Like, I was unsure about making this video, because there's some people that are the government are great and the government do everything. And then there's some people that are like me, that are in a minority, that don't get why the government can be seen as great when it's not helping everyone and it's not being equal to certain groups. So, yes. I'm also hoping that people will start giving me more ideas for videos and stuff, because I really want to start posting more. So if you could comment down below video ideas. That would be really good. And I'd also like some feedback on if you'd like me to talk more about social issues and things that need to change, or if you'd like me to do a video about what my EPQ was about and go into detail about what I learned and stuff like that. So, if you're still watching, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.